3 seconds. That's all you get. 3 seconds to decide if you'll hit snooze or hit the road. 3 seconds to lace up your shoes or make another excuse. David Goggins didn't just beat the clock. He made the damn clock fear him. And right now, your clock's ticking. You know what's scarier than failure? It's mediocrity. Failure shouts. It hits you hard. It stings. It embarrasses. It leaves scars. At least with failure, you know where you stand. But mediocrity? Mediocrity whispers. It slides in quietly. It tucks you in at night, pats you on the back and says, "Relax, you're fine. You're just like everybody else." That is the problem. David Goggins calls mediocrity a silent epidemic. Not because it kills you fast, but because it kills you slow. It seeps into your life one choice at a time, one excuse at a time, until one day, you wake up and you've lived half a life, safe, comfortable, but never real. Think about it. You've got the couch, you've got the Netflix queue, the weekend barbecues, the job that pays just enough. And that little voice inside whispering, "You've earned this. Don't push, don't struggle." It feels like freedom, doesn't it? But it's not freedom. It's a cage, a soft, padded, air-conditioned prison. And here's the harsh truth. In America, mediocrity is everywhere. It's normal, it's accepted, it's even celebrated. Average grades, average fitness, average effort. We dress it up and call it balance. But balance has become another word for giving up. And the worst part, it spreads. Goggins says it straight. Mediocrity is contagious. Spend enough time with people who settle, and you'll start to settle too. You'll catch their habits, you'll catch their mindset. And before you know it, you're infected. You're breathing, you're moving, you're talking, but you're not alive. This epidemic doesn't hit all at once. It creeps. It disguises itself as comfort. It disguises itself as taking care of yourself. It disguises itself as enjoying life. But it's none of those things. It's a thief that steals your potential, a thief that convinces you to stop chasing what you could be for the sake of what's easy. Look around. How many people do you know who had big dreams but settled? How many people once swore they'd be different, but now they live like everybody else? That's the epidemic of average. And here's the part that should scare you most. It doesn't feel bad. Not at first. It feels good. It feels safe. It feels normal. That's how it gets you. It convinces you that average is enough. That you've done your part, that you've lived a decent life. But deep down, you know the truth. There's a voice inside you that knows. Knows you're playing small, knows you're hiding, knows you're nowhere near your limit. And that voice doesn't go away. It eats at you, day by day, year by year, until the weight of mediocrity crushes you. This is why Goggins calls mediocrity a disease. Because once you accept it, you stop fighting, you stop growing, you stop living. And unless you declare war on it, it will consume you. You think you're free. You think comfort means you're in control. But comfort is the most dangerous trap of all. Why? Because it doesn't feel like a trap. It feels like reward. It feels like luxury. It feels like the dream everyone told you to chase. But David Goggins calls it what it really is, a leash. Comfort is the leash that keeps you tied to the ordinary, and the tighter you cling to it, the shorter your life becomes. Look around. In America, we worship comfort. We build our whole lives around it. Drive through everything. Air conditioning everywhere. Chairs so soft you sink in and never want to get back up. We even pay extra to avoid discomfort. Front row parking, express lanes, fast food at the push of a button. Convenience isn't progress, it's sedation. It lulls you to sleep. It makes you mistake stillness for peace. Goggins knew this trap all too well. He once lived inside it. 300 pounds, spraying for cockroaches, eating donuts and milkshakes on the way to work, calling it freedom because nobody was telling him what to do. But that wasn't freedom. That was chains. Soft chains. Chains he put on himself. Comfort fools you into thinking you're winning. But every time you choose the easy option, you're choosing to shrink. You're teaching your body to quit. You're training your mind to give up before the battle even starts. Think about it. You hit the snooze button in the morning. You order takeout instead of cooking. You take the elevator instead of the stairs. Each time feels like nothing, but stack them up over a year, over a decade, and you've built a fortress around your potential. Comfort isn't harmless, it's corrosive. It eats away at ambition. It eats away at discipline. It eats away at the very part of you that wants to fight. That's why Goggins says most people live their whole lives never even tapping into 40% of what they're capable of. Because comfort convinces you not to try. Comfort whispers, stay here, stay warm, stay safe. And here's the brutal part. America sells comfort like it's the cure. New gadgets, new apps, new ways to make life easier. But easier is just another word for weaker. Every step toward convenience is a step away from strength. Every time you buy into the lie of comfort, you're paying with your future. That's why Goggins trains in pain. That's why he runs when it's raining, when it's freezing, when nobody else is out there. Because he knows comfort is the enemy of growth, and pain is the only path to freedom. So ask yourself, what's really keeping you stuck? Is it your boss, your family, your circumstances, or is it the fact that you've chosen comfort again and again until you don't even see it anymore? That's the trap. And here's the truth. The trap has a key, and that key is pain. Every time you lean into discomfort, you unlock a piece of yourself. Every time you take the stairs, push through the workout, do the thing your body doesn't want to do, you prove to yourself, comfort doesn't own you. That's the Goggins mindset. That's the shift most people will never make because they're too busy mistaking comfort for freedom. But freedom isn't comfort. Freedom is strength. Freedom is owning your choices. Freedom is waking up every day and knowing you are not average anymore. So how do you break free from the comfort trap? How do you stop mediocrity from sinking its claws into you? David Goggins has a simple answer. 3 seconds. That's it. 3 seconds to change the entire direction of your life. See, most people think their life is decided by big events, graduations, marriages, promotions, but Goggins will tell you, your life is decided in the smallest window of time. 3 seconds. 3 seconds between the alarm clock ringing and hitting snooze. 3 seconds between lacing up your shoes and saying, I'll go tomorrow. 3 seconds between pushing through the pain and quitting. That's where the war is fought, and that's where most people lose, because the brain is sneaky. In those 3 seconds, it's already building excuses. It's too early, it's too cold, you deserve a break. And if you wait long enough, if you give it space, that voice gets louder until it drowns out everything else. But Goggins learned to flip the script. He trained himself to act before the excuses could even form. 3 seconds. No hesitation. Move first, think later. That's why he runs when it rains. That's why he pushes when nobody's watching. Because he knows, the second you pause, you've already lost the battle. Think about SEAL training, Hell Week, freezing cold water, no sleep, bodies breaking down. Most guys don't quit when they're in the water. They quit in their head. 3 seconds before they even step in. That's the moment Goggins attacked, that tiny space between decision and excuse. He owned it. He built his entire mindset around it. 3 seconds doesn't sound like much, but stack it up across a lifetime, and it becomes the difference between average and unstoppable. You've felt this before. You're sitting in your car outside the gym. It's dark, it's cold. You stare at the doors and think, not today. That's your 3 seconds, and if you let them slip, comfort wins. Or picture this, it's Monday morning, your alarm is screaming, you roll over, 3 seconds. You either get up or you surrender to the snooze button. The truth is, life doesn't give you endless time to decide. It gives you moments, tiny, invisible moments. And the ones who win, the ones who rise above average, they're the ones who act before fear gets a chance to talk. That's why Goggins says the mind will quit 1,000 times before the body ever does. The body can handle the cold, the body can handle the miles, the body can handle the weight. It's the mind that tries to trick you, and the only way to beat it is to cut it off before it starts. 3 seconds, that's your window, that's your battlefield. So next time the clock rings, don't wait, don't negotiate, don't think, just move. Because if you don't, those 3 seconds will decide for you, and you'll be right back where you started, average. But if you do, if you act, you'll feel something shift. You'll feel that spark, that voice inside whispering, this is who you really are. And that's the moment you start becoming someone new. There comes a day when the mirror doesn't lie anymore. For David Goggins, that day was brutal. He was 300 pounds, working nights spraying cockroaches, living on milkshakes and donuts, telling himself he was fine, telling himself he was free. But one night, he looked in the mirror and saw the truth. A liar, a fraud, a man pretending to be tough while quietly dying inside. He saw the belly, he saw the wasted potential. He saw a man who said he wanted to be great but lived like everybody else. And that's when something inside him snapped. Goggins calls it his accountability mirror. Because in that moment, he stopped making excuses. He stopped running from the truth, and he started declaring war. War on average, war on comfort, war on every lie he had told himself for years. He wrote sticky notes with the truth. You're fat, you're weak, you're lazy. Not to shame himself, but to force himself to face reality. Because until you face the truth, you'll never fight it. That was the night Goggins drew a line. On one side, mediocrity. On the other, the man he could become. And he chose the war. But here's what most people get wrong. He didn't wait for motivation. He didn't wait to feel ready. He acted. Right there, right then. He signed up for Navy SEAL training. Something impossible for a man his size. He failed the entrance test the first time. Failed again and again. But each failure wasn't the end. It was another shot fired in his war against average. He ran until his legs bled. He studied until his eyes burned. He lost 100 pounds in 3 months. He rewired his body, he rewired his mind. And when he finally made it into Bud S, he didn't walk in as the strongest. He didn't walk in as the fastest. He walked in as a man who had declared war, and that made him unstoppable. Here's the lesson. Change doesn't happen when life gets easy. Change happens the moment you stop lying to yourself. The moment you look in the mirror and admit, I am not who I say I am. That's the moment you either break or you fight. Goggins chose to fight, and every mile he ran, every pull-up he clawed through, every freezing night in Hell Week wasn't just training. It was a declaration. I will never go back. I will never be average again. That's why his story resonates so deeply, because we've all had that mirror moment. We've all looked at ourselves and felt the weight of wasted years. We've all seen the gap between who we are and who we could be. The question is, what do you do in that moment? Do you turn away? Do you cover the mirror, pour another drink, scroll another feed, make another excuse? Or do you face it? Do you declare war? Because that's the line Goggins drew, and it's the same line standing in front of you. Average on one side, excellence on the other, no middle ground. And the only way across is to fight. Pain. The word itself makes most people flinch. We treat it like poison, like something to escape, like a curse to avoid at all costs. But for David Goggins, pain was never the enemy, it was the shortcut. He calls it the path no one wants to walk. Because it hurts, because it breaks you down, because it strips away the comfort you've been addicted to. But here's the truth he discovered. The very thing you're running from is the one thing that can save you. Think about it. You don't grow from the easy days. You don't change when you're comfortable. You change when you're pushed to the edge, when you're gasping for air, when every fiber of your body screams, stop. That's the doorway Goggins found, and instead of avoiding it, He sprinted straight through. Most of us do the opposite. We take Advil for every headache. We cancel workouts the moment we feel sore. We quit jobs that challenge us. We ghost relationships the second they get uncomfortable. We've built a culture obsessed with anesthesia. But anesthesia doesn't heal. It only numbs. And when you numb everything, you numb the possibility of greatness. Goggins flipped that script. He learned to use pain like fuel. When his legs burned, he smiled. When his mind begged him to quit, he laughed. Because he knew pain was a sign he was still in the fight. And he wasn't just surviving it, he was extracting power from it. That's why he calls pain the ultimate teacher. It teaches you discipline. It teaches you patience. It teaches you who you really are when everything else is stripped away. In Bud.S, during Hell Week, most guys looked at the freezing ocean and thought, this is hell. Goggins looked at it and thought, this is the shortcut. Every wave that slammed into his chest, every shiver that rattled his bones, was building something deeper, a mind that could not be broken. Because here's the secret. When you go through pain willingly, when you choose it, you're no longer a victim. You're in control. You're shaping yourself with fire. Most people wait for life to hurt them. A breakup, a layoff, an illness, and then they collapse under the weight. But what if you didn't wait? What if you created your own pain? What if you leaned into discomfort before it found you? That's what Goggins did. And that's what he teaches. He runs ultra-marathons on broken feet. He does thousands of pull-ups until his hands tear open. He deliberately puts himself in situations most people spend their lives avoiding. Why? Because he knows the shortcut. It isn't motivation, it isn't inspiration, it isn't comfort or balance, it's pain. And before you dismiss it as crazy, ask yourself this: how much has avoiding pain already cost you? How many dreams died because you wanted comfort? How many times did you choose the easy road and find yourself weaker for it? That's the disease of mediocrity. And the cure isn't more comfort, it's the opposite. It's choosing the cold shower, it's running the extra mile, it's doing the thing you don't want to do until it becomes who you are. Pain is the shortcut, not around weakness, but straight through it. And if you can embrace it, if you can make it your ally, you'll realize something Goggins has known for decades. Pain is not here to kill you. It's here to introduce you to the person you were always meant to be. There's a reason David Goggins never calls himself finished. Not after Hell Week. Not after breaking records. Not even after transforming from a 300-pound exterminator into a Navy SEAL. Because the battle never ends. See, most people want a finish line, a day where the struggle is over. That's why Goggins doesn't even talk about winning. He talks about staying in the fight, because winning implies it's over, but it's never over. Mediocrity doesn't retire, it doesn't stop chasing you, it waits. Patient. Every time you take a day off, it creeps back in. That's why he says you've got to stay hard, not once, not twice, but every damn day. And here's what most people miss. This isn't punishment. This isn't self-torture. This is freedom. Because when you accept that the battle never ends, you stop waiting for life to get easy. You stop bargaining for comfort. You stop resenting the grind. You embrace it. You carry it. You make peace with it. And in that peace, you become unstoppable. Think about how different your life looks when you stop chasing a finish line. You don't dread Monday, because Monday is just another round in the fight. You don't fear failure, because failure is part of the battle plan. You don't cling to motivation, because you've built discipline that outlasts it. That's the Goggins mindset. And it's the mindset America has forgotten. We think the dream is freedom from struggle, but the real dream is freedom inside the struggle. To wake up every day, face the voice that says quit, and answer it with, not today. And yes, you'll get tired, you'll doubt yourself, you'll want to walk away. But in those moments when it hurts the most, when your mind screams for relief, that's where Goggins would tell you to lean in. Because the pain you feel today is proof you're still in the fight. And the fight itself, that's the point. Not the medals, not the applause, not the comfort you think you'll earn at the end. The fight. That's why mediocrity should make you sick, because it's the lie that tells you to stop fighting. And the second you believe it, you're already losing. But if you remember Goggins, if you carry his voice in your head, you'll know there's always another mile to run, another set to finish, another battle to win inside yourself. And that's not a burden, that's a privilege. So don't wait for life to get easier. Don't pray for the fight to end. Instead, step up, embrace it, and keep swinging. Because the battle never ends, but neither does your strength. If this hit you, don't just sit with it. Act on it. And if you want more raw truth like this, hit subscribe, because we're not done. The fight continues, and so do we.